This section of the video is going to be called My Problem, the Sub-Saharan Classification. So, there's research that shows that the regions of Africa that took on more Arab systems of belief, systems of governance, systems of being, the British just chose not to deal with them and classified them as a group not to mess with, basically, and went for the other vulnerable population, or population that it deemed as needing of salvation, needing saving, right? So the Saharan classification, you'll notice, covers most of North Africa, and then sub is to say lesser than. So it will cover some countries above the equator. I think that is extremely racist, given in the Nile Valley, specifically Egypt, there were more present of dark skin, and now to this day, South Sudanese populations. But what happened is that the lighter / Arab, actual Arab, like from the Arabian Peninsula, the ones that lived in Egypt, they're the ones who got the clergy jobs, basically the good office jobs, right? The good city jobs. And the dark-skinned Egyptians, regardless of what position they held prior to colonization, they were forced to work the labor's jobs, unpaid jobs, really unsafe jobs as well. When prior to the British entering, that was not the case. If you look at Sudan, you'll notice that there's more pyramids there than Egypt, and as well, the Sudanese speak the same language that ancient Egyptians spoke. So there's no questions on whether the Egyptians were black or not, because even linguistically, you can break that down easily and see that Egypt was predominantly black prior to the Greco-Roman era, and even then, the admixturing wasn't something that was unconsequential, or that led to a lot of consequences for that region, right? With Sudan, the same system was replicated, funnily enough, and that pushed the darker populations, or basically to form their own country, which is South Sudan. The funny thing is, I don't know if South Sudan was even recognized as a country of its own, but I'm saying darker skin populations because lighter and darker does not really encompass being of African origin. In Africa, we share so much diversity, we share so much religions, we share so much belief systems, we share so much language. We even switch around different tribes, different groupings. We share them, we switch it around, we decide to take on different aspects of each other's culture. And we don't even blink twice about it, we just keep on inventing more and more and more. And we don't fixate on what the Western world deems as culture. We just don't, we don't fixate on wine, we don't fixate on cigarettes, we don't fixate on chocolates that is made from cocoa that originates in Latin American and African lands. We don't fixate on anything to bypass, or anything that is really solely for entertainment purposes. We go beyond that, and I think that's the cosmic aspect of ourselves, because you will notice that maybe there are fixations, but it's definitely not that. Just like different regions of the world, there might be a slight few fixations, but their culture is nothing like the West. And even here in the West, people who are enslaved, people who are stolen, and people who are originally here, they show those differences as well, that it's their culture mainly highlights the journey to Earth and the journey exiting out of Earth, and how to make that more comfortable for their loved ones. nah, what am I gonna do to romanticize my time here? Even in the medieval period, there was romanticization. There was romance novels being made so that people can escape, because that has been the reality of isolated populations. It's just escapism instead of dealing with things head on. So with Sudan region, I'm really grateful that it's being exposed that it was the EU that was funding that, and that the EU is getting its karma tenfold, 12-fold, 1,000-fold, because the videos were gruesome. The people committing the crimes are the same skin tone as me, not even lighter, claiming to be Arab. Make that make sense, because they probably have a merchant uncle who's Arab or some shit like that, you know? Therefore, they think that they have rights to commit atrocities and go unquestioned. So, yeah, it's an interesting dichotomy. But God's guidance has brought a lot of clarity forth, and I definitely do believe there's a benevolent force making all of this happen.